So Rachel, I'm starting with you. I mean, the humanity of your character is like, and the contradictions that like they're so delicious to watch. And actually, the more human she is in that sort of area, the scarier she gets. With that as delicious to play and tackle that.
Yeah, that is literally, to hear you use the word delicious about a performance, I'm not sure that's ever been applied to any role I've ever done. Maybe Rhonda from Muriel's Wedding. So thank you. No, I really wanted to kind of straddle the thing, but between making this character kind of wildly entertaining and very different from any of the girls' characters, because she is a woman. She has become herself, for better or worse. And then just kind of fuck with an audience and keep kind of creating corners that you can define me with, and then like just getting an axe and smashing through the wall and going into a different mode. It was really, really freeing. And it was always hard for me to know if I'd gone too far. So I would always come to Video Village. You know, I would do one take that really pushed the boundaries of like how out there or detached from reality she was, and I'd go too much, and sometimes three people at the monitor like, no, and then sometimes I'd say too much and Amy would go, little bit.
I have to say, you said Muriel's Wedding, and I had to make an effort not to really faint, because that's one of seeing you. I remember vividly, like seeing that scene where you and Tony sing Waterloo in that movie. I saw it at a film festival here in Puerto Rico, and I vividly remember like the joyous moment that was. So since I have you in front of me, what do you remember about shooting? I mean, what comes to mind in shooting that sequence, the Waterloo sequence, or what comes to mind when you think about Muriel's Wedding?
Well, I think over the course of my life, there have been like 10 truly great days at the office. And what that is for me is where you utterly, with the chemistry of the person that you are with, create something that is far beyond the sum of, you know, the parts, but also where you can go to bed at night knowing that you put every last mark, no matter how many, you know, how specific, you know, you left nothing, you know, inside. It's all on camera. And that there's a million nights you go to bed going, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. That, you know, that was one of those things. But I will say, you know, I did Muriel's Wedding when I was 25, and that was the first time I had read a script that I could see myself in. You know, I had done hundreds of auditions for television shows where she's hot, but not intimidating. She's smart, but not intimidating. You know, she's beautiful, but not in a way that makes you hate her. You know, just these bullshit character descriptions. And it took me, you know, from 19 to 25 to kind of to read something on the page that I said, I know this girl. I know this like odd, different, quirky, you know, wild, enthusiastic, unjudgmental, you know, perhaps bisexual being. You know, I recognize this girl. And as I said to the girls on the Wild, and when I read this show, is that we had this group of 17, 18, 19-year-old girls that read this script at 17, 18, and 19. And some of them, it's the first marks they have ever put in celluloid. And to have had the opportunity to put these authentic, specific, you know, there's not one African-American girl representing all African-American girls, there's two, and they are very, very different. And there's a Southeast Asian American girl, and her experience is completely different. Three girls of color, not the same experience. So I just loved that these actresses got to really say there is a world in which me, you know, like size 14 me, or, you know, Indian American me, or First Nation Navajo girl me can be on the screen. And then for the thousands of girls that didn't get the role, they still got to read something that asked them to connect and be themselves in their most authentic selves. And that's what drew me, you know, to this project. And I'm just thrilled that, you know, they got to have this experience where they could really truthfully, authentically be the messy, ugly, emotional, confused, loving, passionate, fierce, fighting things that young adolescent women have inside them.
No, it's truly a special show. So my time's up. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks,
Stay
Juan.
safe wherever you are. Pleasure talking to you
Thank
guys.
you. So lovely to
safe.
chat. You were
Thank you.
delicious.